Now, of course, Iran's condemning these sanctions. We'd expect that. But European leaders also are saying they deeply regret the sanctions. It's happening as President Trump has been facing widespread anger over his trade moves as well. So what to make of all this global pushback? To the Center for Freedom and Prosperity, Chairman Dan Mitchell joins us. Independent Women's Forum Director of Policy Hadley Heath Manning joins us as well. Good to see both of you. And, Hadley, the president's been trying to create leverage. One of the things we mentioned last hour I think is interesting is that he's using the strong economy here, or trying to use it to create leverage with these other countries, be it Iran, be it China. But he's getting pushback from Europe on all of this. I mean, Europe's next move will be interesting because the president's kind of, as Blake was talking about, kind of laid down the gauntlet here. You're either with us or against us when it comes to Iran, right?
Well, the president's right about one thing, and that's that our domestic economic picture looks good. We're seeing good profits, good unemployment numbers, good wage growth. So there's a lot to be happy about here at home, not just for Americans, but I believe the entire world benefits when America is strong, when our economy is strong. On the other hand, we're really talking about two different things here. We're talking about diplomacy, and then we're talking about the cold, hard economics when it comes to tariffs. And we know that tariffs come with certain risks and downsides. They can increase costs for producers and consumers. So they're really not a perfect tool to use when it comes to diplomacy. But of course, we may be looking at a set of imperfect tools here. No,
you're right. I mean, that's a fair point, Dan, that Hadley's making, that, if you want in a diplomatic way to put pressure on Iran to come to the table to negotiate a nuclear deal, that's probably different than trying, and maybe, by the way, more effective just because of how bad a position that they're in economically, than dealing with the Chinese, right, who can wait us out, or even if their economy's taking a hit, and it is, choose to wait us out over the long term on trade. How do you look at the two issues, Dan?
The first thing to understand is that the U.S. is the 800-pound gorilla in the world economy. And if Trump, in effect, tells Europe and China and everyone else, you have to choose. Do you trade with the U.S. or trade with Iran? Yes, he can isolate Iran. Now, I'm not one who thinks the evidence shows that sanctions are effective. That it certainly didn't stop Cuba from being under Castro's rule for all those decades. So whether sanctions are a good idea, let's set that aside. But then let's look at whether or not the U.S. is sort of building not goodwill, but badwill. When we do these things, sort of throwing our weight around and telling countries you can't use the dollar, you can't clear dollars in the U.S., you can't trade with the U.S. unless you agree to all these different things, we need to be very, very careful. We're using that power judiciously.
You don't think we are?
We didn't use it judiciously when we imposed our tax laws on the entire world with FATCA. We know that sanctions historically aren't very effective, so we're probably not going to get good results in terms of destabilizing Iran. And Iran's a bad country.
No, I know.
I don't want them to have nuclear weapons. They oppress women. They execute gay people.
Right.
There's all sorts of bad things about them.
The right way to go about it. But a quick final point on that, Hadley, in terms of whether you agree or not.
Oh, I almost always agree with Dan Mitchell when it comes to economic issues. And he's right about Iran being a bad actor. There are a lot of bad actors in the world. And as I said earlier, we have a set of imperfect tools that we have to use when we are dealing with those bad actors. And at the end of the day, whether or not they agree to play by the rules is something that we want to use our maximum pressure to be able to do that with the least amount of harm.
All right, let me wrap this out. I want to get back to Tesla. So Hadley and Dan, thank you very much, both of you, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So
thank
the breaking
you.
news